better get ready. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait to see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Raise up a white flag. Didn't come this far just to turn back. The curtains fall for the last act. Breaking that levee, breaking that levee. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait to see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait to see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
It's explosive. You can't control this, no. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on a battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, myself.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those camp news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome everybody to LSRTV's coverage of the 4th round for the FEG PC Wild Wednesday Money Racing Series from the Daytona International Speedway here around this 2.5-mile super speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm Jason Rockefeller. Alongside me as well, Wesley Outland will be back here in just a short moment. And there he is. There's the guy. There's the man of the hour right there. Wesley Outland. Take it away, buddy.
I just walked in the door, but we welcome you again. Round number 3, Daytona. Remember, first of 3 races that PC Customs Wednesday Night Money Series does, but we cover the first one. And, of course, we're here at the Virtual World Center of Racing tonight. Really into these trucks. They're always fun, and drafting, tandem, up draft. The big one. It can always be expected, and all these drivers have got to avoid it in some shape or fashion. I want to let everyone's practice is about to conclude here that we are having some technical issues in the studio with Charles Wooten. If we get knocked offline, we will quickly come back to you with the coverage of this race once we technical woes out of the way. But something going on, Jason. They're going to have to totally redo all these things after the Christmas break is what we're being told. But hopefully we don't have any problems, as right now we get to go. And here comes George Bark, our first man to come on out and get ready to qualify here at Daytona.
Yeah, this should be a really fun one here tonight. Obviously, round number 4 of the series tonight went from obviously Talladega to Daytona, back to Talladega. Now we're back to Daytona. Now the thing is going to be, what can these guys utilize in this race tonight that they learned in the second race of the season just a couple of weeks ago from tonight? And if you're a driver like George Bark, you know it's going to be hard to get up through the field with, obviously, you know, how tight it is here at Daytona. It's not as wide as Talladega usually is. You also have to remember, too, Wesley, these guys only had 50% fuel load. They are going to have to make 1 to 2 stops, depending on if we have any cautions or not. More than likely, though, overall, it's going to be a 2-stop race. And obviously, they have unlimited sets of tires, but no fast repairs. So you have to make sure if you're going to be qualifying in the back or not electing to start, you better make sure you stay out of trouble. And if you want to make your way up to the front, you have to be cool, calm, and collective about it, and really take your time, but also be quick with your moves.
Yeah, no doubt. As obviously George Bart works his way around the racetrack, his Toyota number 54 setting the bar here in qualifying right now as these drivers getting the opportunity. Close to 20 plus trucks right now signed in, ready to go for a shot of the FEG PC Customs Wednesday night big super speedway money series here on LSRTV. Your home for sim racing as George Bart crosses the line. 52.233 seconds right now. He will be the man to set the bar in War Machine as here comes the man has at least been on the podium each week. Winner of race number 1. This is Andrew Navarro, the Floridian, and the 42 machine on the track now, Jake.
Yeah, and Andrew has really been the guy of really the last 3 weeks to see. I mean, you talk about him, Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhardt, last week's winner at Talladega, Aubrey Thompson, John Ward, just to name a few drivers who have really been the fastest on the racetrack. And I know a lot of people typically say, you know, especially, you know, Wesley, you and I both know that, oh, it's super speedway racing, anybody can win. Well, I tell you what, the way that super speedway racing works nowadays and the driver etiquette around it, you have to be good at these places to win here. Yes, there can be those occasional Daytona, Talladega, now Atlanta races that can be crapshoots, and you're going to see guys up at the front that you usually wouldn't see at a mile and a half, a quarter mile, a road course, whatever it might be, but you still have to be a good enough driver, understand how the draft works, how side drafting works, and obviously how the truck feels, pushes, takes push, etc., in order to make yourself get up to the front like we've seen with Navarro, Eberhardt, Ward, Thompson, a few other drivers as well. So I have a feeling, Wesley, that we're probably still going to see the same group of guys that we've been seeing these last 3 weeks probably get up towards the front here in tonight's race at Daytona.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that as Navarro right now just went to the top of the board. He in qualifying 52.32. That's a difference of 1/1000th of a second with a 52.233, but not Matthew Baker just lit up the top of the scoring pylon in the Chevrolet green and white number 5. Matthew Baker, 52.214 seconds, and you've got less than a minute if you want to try to make a lap here.
Yeah, I mean, 45 seconds. I mean, the only driver right now that I'm seeing on the racetrack that's going to be making another lap is going to be Richard Elliott, still on the racetrack right now. In fact, just completed, I think, his second lap. He jumped up one spot on top of Blaine Dalton. That's going to set him up into the top 10. But Wesley, with the clock ticking down here with just under half a minute to go, it looks like what we're seeing on our scoring pylon here on SDK looks like this will be the starting lineup for round 4 tonight here at Daytona.
Yeah, it looks like if there's any other drivers outside the top 11 that took qualifying time, you will be starting in the rear of the field as it looks like the clock is about to expire. The field is getting ready to grid, and we're ready to introduce the field for round number 3 of racing for the FEG PC Customs Super Speedway Money Series. And let's introduce them to you. As qualifying just wraps up on the pole, Matthew Baker, the number 5, and Andrew Navarro, the 42, alongside in row 1. Row 2, George Barkey, 4, the very fast men, and Kenneth McCullough Jr., the 7. Row number 3, John Mollahan, the number 24, and Stephen Hendren, number 03. Row 4, Daytona, Damon Gilbert, the 68, and Justin Mills alongside of the Deuce. And your top 10, Jason, Alejandro and Richard Elliott, the 02, your top 10, first 5 rows.
All the way back down to 23rd to round out the field. Row number 6, you got Blaine Dalton, and last week's winner, Daniel Eberhardt, been very fast here these last 3 weeks. He'll start in row 6. Row number 7, John Ward, Dylan Jones, 2 drivers who've consistently been up at the front week in and week out. They're ready to tango here tonight at Daytona. Row number 8 goes to Nash Brambilla there in the 18, and Aubrey Thompson, the 38, another driver looking to try to get to victory lane finally after some heartbreak for the driver recently. Row number 9, Adam Ford in the 20, and Joshua McCullough in the number 05 on the outside. Row number 10, you have Joseph Allen in the 23, Danny Barnes in the number 19 machine. Row number 11, you have John Darnell III and Sage Childress there in the number 11 machine. And rounding out the field on the inside of the number 27 machine is going to be Tucker McLean in that car as well.
So there is the lineup for these drivers as they get ready to get into place. Let's take a look real quickly at the Hunt the Front TV race analysis information on okay, I'm sorry, we just have the weather condition. Hunt Front, thanks again for them doing that, but we do have the Kaufman creative weather conditions, and very likewise, same thing for air temp, track temp, wind is calm, partly cloudy conditions, and already when we drop the green, Jason, we'll be under the lights. It will be at nighttime, bud.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be awesome here tonight, and I'm excited to see how this race is going to go. I mean, the first 3 races of the season so far have been interesting. I'm sure they're going to be interesting tonight. Andrew Navarro right there up at the front. Usually he's a driver who likes to start at the rear and make his way up, but tonight he's elected to try to qualify. He finds himself up on the front row with Matthew Baker. Those 2 drivers have been exceptionally well. Obviously, Navarro winning back at Talladega in week number 1. He's finished on the podium the last 3 races, trying to make it 4, trying to pick up his 2nd win tonight. But I want to say here, I think if I had to pick a driver to win here tonight, I really like Dylan Jones in the 4 machine and John Ward. It's kind of hard to pick between the 2 of them. They are going to be starting here in the 13th and 14th position. Those 2 have been up at the front consistently week in and week out. Dylan Jones also finished 3rd last week at Talladega. I think one of those 2 drivers is going to go to victory lane here tonight.
So preliminary laps underway. The one and only preliminary lap as the lights start on the pace car. The safety car will be making the jump onto pit lane here when we come to the green. And there you see Matthew Baker and Andrew Navarro ready to bring the field on the front row for this start. Obviously 35 laps. This will be interesting. You'll see at least a pit stop or 2. We'll see if it'll have flat conditions. Ready to see how it all shakes down. First money race of 3 tonight. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving, ready for the Christmas holiday, and we're ready to go here at Daytona. Green flag goes in the air, and we're underway. Let's see how it all shakes out on the opening go. Quickly to the double yellow line goes Baker. He's the top spot. He'll bring the field up to speed up to 31 degrees of banking into turn number 1 there, Jason.
Yeah, Navarro's going to have that outside push right there from that 03 machine of Hendren as they fly down the Daytona super stretch. Baker has that push, though, from George Bark as they reach back into turn number 3. You see the 02 back behind them as well. Outside lane trying to get formed up as well. And that outside looks to be the lane to be, like it usually is here at Daytona in the opening lap off 4.
Here they come down to the line. Side by side, the first 5, 6 rows are. Opening lap given to the number 5 of Matthew Baker. His Chevrolet leads them down into turn number 1. Navarro up on the outside. He's got some help with the 03 giving him a punt. That's Hendren. All this going on as they work in the super stretch off of turn number 2.
Yeah, you see Baker right there getting that good push from George Bark, who really had a solid run going at Talladega last week, just did not get the finish that he really wanted in that 54 machine. But you're seeing really 2 packs kind of get formulated right now. One that's kind of starting to go out front, that's side by side. Then you have everybody else behind that single file, a couple stragglers up on the top side. But Wesley, when you think about Daytona here compared to Talladega, you know, this track, obviously, we talked about it when we came here a couple weeks ago, is that outside lane is the way to be. Every time I've ran here in the official stuff, I've always wanted to run that top side because you have the momentum off these corners. I mean, I know you're going to be in between the car and the wall, so there's not really a lot of room to recover if there's an error by you or drivers around you. But this outside off turns 2 and off turns 4, you get a ginormous run down these straightaways. The only time the inside is going to be dominant is in the center of the corners, like you're seeing Matthew Baker do here on Andrew Navarro heading through 3 and 4.
Here they come, working off that 4th turn. Run up on lap first time by in the race, working forward. As everybody right now, tandems 2 by 2, jumping out of the bank. Dosi Dove and 2-stepping up the bank, getting into 1 and 2. It's kind of, honestly, Jason, best thing to do is just ride and drive right now. You've got plenty of time. Just stay on hold your line. Don't be aggressive. Don't do anything crazy in the open and go. And I think you'll be okay right now.
Yeah, you'll be all right, but obviously you just have to worry as you see Andrew Navarro electing to drop all the way to the back of the field right now. He's going to go to the top side, probably wants to get, if I had to guess, with Daniel Eberhard, John Ward, and Dylan Jones. Remember, those 4 drivers really worked well together last week at Talladega, and they also have the previous 2 races, from the first one at Talladega to the second one at Daytona, and I expect Andrew Navarro to probably work with them at some point. But remember, Wesley, we're going to have 2 green flag pit stops here, probably going to come around lap 15, and then more than likely sometime around lap 28 to 30. So we're going to see how this all shakes out. Everybody wants to get paired up with one another. You can race right now for the lead, but eventually you're going to have to get single file, or you're going to have to find a place that you want to lock into. If you want to elect to be that first group to come down pit road on the inside, or if you want to stay on that outside and wait a couple laps.
Handful of laps complete this time by. Now Kenneth McCullough showing his strengths, being the new leader in that number 7 machine. They work their way back up the banking. Did Navarro now line. As all these drivers working their way, Navarro outside the top 10, up at the front, run start. The driver is trying to make it 3 wide, the 0-2 and the 10 machine. It's Dalton. No change yet, though, as they work off the corner, coming out of turn 4 into the lap of the board, Jason.
Yeah, and everybody really is just being double wide right now, kind of minding their own P's and Q's. But remember, compared to Talladega, there is not a lot of room for recovery here. I mean, you have to really be on the edge of control at Daytona compared to Talladega. You feel like you're not going as fast, but boy, oh boy, with this track being a little bit tighter with radius. Remember, it's a 2.5 mile track. Talladega's a little bit longer at 2.66 miles and also way wider. You really can go 2 wide here. 3 wide, you can make it work, but it's kind of a stretch. And then 4 wide is pretty much an oh no. You see some shuffling going on up at the front of the field right now. Steve Hendren able to take the lead away from Kenneth McCullough there. Both those trucks listed as an 03 machine on your screen, but Kenneth McCullough listed as the number 7 there on your scoring pylon. So those two are going to do-si-do and go back to the start-finish line. Here comes Damon Gilbert, though, who's 68, working the outside. Has a great run. He's going to get right up to second now as they get back into 1.
The party, 3's a crowd, 4 is chaos, mentioning if they get that wide. 9 times out of 10, when they get 3 and 4 wide, it starts getting antsy. As for the most part right now, everybody just stays 2 by 2 in single file. As there's a little change coming up. Elliott now trying to make a run on Gilbert on the lane. There's the leader up on the top. Top 4 right there, nestled with one another. Dalton creeps back to the top 5. Baker falls back to 6th. And now in show his strength as being the new leader. Here it's early going as they work it in turn number 3 or turn 4.
Yeah, back to start-finish line now. Steve Hendren still able to lead right now. You see this outside lane. It was kind of really, not really that organized. They're trying to get reorganized now, but nothing really going on. Damon Gilbert leading that top lane. He's got George Bark back behind him. Then you have Matthew Baker, who started on the pole. He's all the way back there, just shy of the top 10 right now. They're not really making up a whole lot of progress. The only thing that's that's going to really help Damon Gilbert and anybody who goes up to this outside here with him and George Park is the side draft. If this 68 Silverado could stay tight on the door of the 7 and the 03 machine, they're going to continuously be even with them. Now they have a driver jumping up to the top. Here comes Blaine Dalton in the Midnight Moon Moonshine machine. They're going to work back to the line now. It's still double wide for the race lead here, back down the front.
By the way, don't forget, on December 10th, there'll be a big event here on LSRTV. It's the American 500 featuring these trucks for 500 miles, 188 laps around the Talladega Superspeedway. That's going to be a pretty fun, exciting race. Make sure you make your plans. That's going to be on Sunday, December 10th. Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, December 10th. Green flag at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The McCullough Motorsport American 500. And you can still get signed up for that event. And, of course, the McCullough family on the track right now. Kenneth McCullough in the 3rd spot. Joshua McCullough in 15th. That's the way it stands as we work 10 laps in here at Daytona. And Hendren now working them down the super stretch. He's the man that leads the way on Gilbert, McCullough, Barkinelli in your top 5, and they still will and deal in that side-by-side tandem going into 3 there, Jason.
Oh, that was almost a bad bump draft gone wrong. George Bark nearly pushed the 68 in a no-no spot. And when I refer to the no-no spots, I mean that right rear and that left rear. You do not want to push right there on these trucks. You see the 10 machine of Dalton trying to go to the outside, making it 3 wide nearly. We're going to see if he does. I don't know if I would be the driver trying to pull a 3 wide right now, considering that green flag pit stops are going to be happening here in about 3 laps or so. So really just stay in line. I think where you're at right now probably is where you're going to be unless you have that opening down on the inside or on the top side. If you want to shift lanes and elect to go with either strategy, because if you're on that bottom right now, Wesley, you are in the catbird seat 2 pit right now. If you're up on that top lane, you are more than likely going to be staying out an extra lap or 2 compared to when this first group comes to pit road. If I had to expect, I would probably guess the first group to come down is going to be Andrew Navarro and some of his buddies, because we've seen that now in the last 3 weeks where they've been the drivers to come to pit road first. But with everybody being on this inside lane right now, from the looks of it up here in the broadcast booth, it looks like we could have more than half the field probably, Wesley, come down pit road here in just a couple laps.
That's exactly right. Straightaway starting to get a little latency, if you will, inside the top 10. Some drivers in the back. Warford, Thompson, Mills trying to stick it to one, trying to get something working. Here comes that battle for the lead up on the outside lane. Gilbert hooks up with 3rd and making a run on Hendren. Down to the line. Here they come to the stripe. Keep it with Hendren. Couple of 0-3s up in the pack. And now powering back along in their 1. Comes out. Get Elliott. Frank Hannibal one as well as Gilbert. And they're all to run on the leaders as they work out of turn 2 there, Jason.
Yeah, you can just see right now Damon Gilbert doing a great job with George Bark on the outside here. Down these straightaways right now, though, that inside lane starting to prevail just a little bit more. We're getting closer and closer to seeing these green flag pit stops. I would not be surprised if we see them here this time by. We're going to see what the field's going to look like coming off turn number 4. Will we see anybody pit this time? No, everybody will elect to stay out, but I would have to guess, Wesley, definitely for sure, no doubt about it, we're going to see some pit stops here in a couple laps. But if you're Damon Gilbert and in the 54 machine also of George Bark, you better just hope and pray that you have guys behind you like that 27 coming in and other drivers as well, that you're going to have a group when you do come down to the pit lane, because you do not want to be a 2-truck tango going to pit road. You want as many trucks as you can.
Into turn 3, the 54 machine, that's Warren make the run right up on the outside as they work up to the top of the square. On a turn 4, now they go to the middle lane. No one has been brave enough yet to try to go 2 and 3 wide, and we're starting to see green flag pit stops. Here comes the back of the top 12 coming on to pit road.
Got
one in the grass. And then 27.
Oh no, just completely overshot pit road, Wesley. It looked like he was gonna be okay, but all of a sudden that truck went for a slide through the grass. No caution. We do stay green, but that's definitely going to hinder his performance for sure, no doubt about it. And without a caution, I would say Tucker McClellan's night is probably going to be over there in that Toyota Tundra TRD machine. But everybody else behind him coming off pit road, that's going to be Adam Ford, Richard Elliott, Justin Mills, and the rest of them coming off pit road. But they are not organized very well at all. But here we go, second round of pit stops. Back down the front straightaway, Hendren, Gilbert, McCullough, Bark, Darnell, and Josh McCullough all in this time.
This is the first 12. 11 drivers now come on the pit lane. Obviously want to make sure they hit marks, no mistakes being made. Ford retires and fuel. The 03 storms off pit now. There you see the 99. That's Darnell. There's the 27. That's the one of McClendon, the Tabasco entry, Jason, that spun into the inside turf grass, if you will, the infield during the first round of pit stops. Now he's out of sequence with the other guys. And here comes Moore. Oh, get on the binders, guys. Pit road. Here comes Navarro, Baker and company now, hitting their marks on pit road. This really just separates everybody into 3 packs now.
Yeah, and right there, Wesley, notice Nash Brambilla really had to, get on the whoa for a second there. Looks like he is not going to have a penalty, though. No holding on the number 18 machine. So that pit road entry was clean and green. But right here, you could just see these drivers are going to get way more organized than these first 2 groups were. You see the 18, he's kind of out there. But the 5, the 90, the 42, and the 4 machines, I expect these guys to probably get around this 18 here, but we'll have to see. But right now, this group is going to be formed up pretty well. But here comes the pack behind them as they come on turn number 2. They're going to be right on their tail here down the Daytona Super Stretch.
Another by the way, daytime approaching sunset, if you will. 18 laps to go. It'll be dark when they come to the line to finish this thing. Whoa. I don't call it a crash there, Jason Smokes. What a save.
Yeah, the 54 nearly just chopped off the 05 of Josh McCullough heading through turn number 3. Nearly thought there was going to be a humongous wreck down into the center of 3 and 4, but they stayed double wide. But notice Andrew Navarro, all those guys, they have been they've been really kind of drafted all the way to the back of this field right now in the 18. That I thought that they were going to really pass is the benefit of this. He's catching on right to the tail end of this pack. Obviously, Navarro, Jones, and Eberhardt, they're probably going to stick together when they have to pit that second time. They're going to have a lot of work to do, though, if they want to make sure they get back to the front.
17 laps to go, halfway away in this race. McCullough, it's Kenneth McCullough Jr., the leader. Richard Elliott, Damon Gilbert, John Moore, and along the shorts for your top 5. 4 Chevrolets and a Toyota. And then you got all Chevrolets down the rest of the top 10, including Aubrey Thompson, Joshua McCullough, Even Hendren, and Joey Allen. Let's take a look at the race summary presented by Virginia 811. Reminding you to, before you dig with care, 8 lead changes in this race so far. That's the tally we're trying to keep up with now. And I don't think it's done yet. It's got 4.
Oh yeah, definitely not done at all. We're going to see a lot more lead changes by.
It's the number 7. He's actually in the 03. Down, Elliott right behind him. More to the outside. Line under. Laps to go now. It's pucker time at Daytona, Jason. Time to get in line.
I feel like we're watching an oval race here. If it were the 24 hours here, if it were the 24 hours at Daytona, we started in the very, very early morning, right when it was still dialed out to the back of this field. Meanwhile, that inside lane, though, still doing a really good job, while the top lane tries to work with 3 drivers now as they hit 13 to go this time.
Jason, I'll be right back. I'm understanding I'm having a technical issue. I'm going to try to reset everything, and I'll come back for you for the finish, bud.
Back in turn number 1 they go. McCullough still with the race lead. Richard Elliott giving him a big push here. Probably still going to see at least one more green flag pit stop per se, like we've usually seen here these last 3 weeks as they go flying back down into turn number 3. The 92, John Ward, getting the push right there from the 38 machine of Aubrey Thompson. Those two have been working so well together here these first 3 weeks. Aubrey having a really, really good run here tonight. Heartbreaker for the driver, the 38 machine last week, really in contention for a win. Wasn't able to do it, but guess what? Back to the front. Those two drivers are going to chop off the number 7 of McCullough into turns 1 and 2, and they're going to get to the race lead now as they head off 2.
And they work the back straightaway down with Ward staying to the inside. To the bottom track, Ward to McCullough, Elliott, Gilbert, your top, and some willing and dealing going on now. As they dive back into turn number 3 and 4, here comes Dalton up the other push by McCullough. The outside lane, it's starting to work. They're powering their way to the top. Here they go, 3 wide, first time tonight in the Tribal, 11 to go.
And Blaine Dalton is being really gutsy with those moves right now, trying to make it work all for himself. Just no help. Nobody from that bottom lane wants to get all the way to the top and help the Midnight Moon Machine. But as they come off turn number 2, Dalton's going to have a great run. Going to give a little bit of an arrow push here to this number 05 of Josh McCullough down the back straightaway. Pushes McCullough Jr. right now. And the McCulloughs are 1-2, but Kenneth goes back down to the bottom. And now both McCullough family members side by side for the race lead out of 4, coming to 10 to go.
The McCullough family now 1 and 2 as Jason reiterated on working on turn 4. Flashing under the start line. 25 laps in, 10 laps to go. Go time in Daytona. Here we go, back to turn 1. It's Dalton now. He gives a push to McCullough. McCullough now. McCullough, Ward, Dalton, Thompson. Sounds like a law firm. Jason, here comes Aubrey Thompson. You always tell you at the end, he's always in the fight. Another race here tonight. He does it again, going to 3.
Yeah, pushing John Ward in the 92 machine, like I just mentioned beforehand, Wesley. These two have been locked up together, and that was nearly a wreck going into turn number 3. The 10 of Blaine Dalton all over the back bumper of the number 05 machine. That could have been a huge moment, but back to the point, Wesley, like you mentioned, the 38 machine coming back to the front. John Ward as well, right there in this hunt for the race lead now. 9 laps to go. Remember, still going to have probably one more pit stop with somewhere around 6 laps to go. We're approaching it soon, but they're still racing hard up at the front down the Daytona Super Stretch.
Now that back straightaway now, Ward on the inside, he tries power back with that Chevrolet on McCullough, the family up on the outside lane. Dalton, that third truck in line, a little wiggle and a jiggle and a giggle and a bobble from Ward as he gets tucked back in line alongside Dalton. They hold it together as they work off turn 4. Time by, yes, here we go. Starting into the pits again. Money stop time. Daytona 8 to go, and I think these drivers are going for the undercut.
Yeah, they're going to try to go for the undercut here, Wesley. No doubt about it. And 3 trucks is all you really need here if you want to get something going. I'd say maybe 6 trucks would be the perfect amount, but 3 trucks is better than none or a ton. And you see, oh no, George Bard, he overshot his stall just a little bit, but fuel only for the 54 machine, the 68, and all them. They're going to come out 1, 2, 3. They got to get going together. Bark a little bit loose off the pit exit line, but these guys might be a little bit behind compared to the rest of the field since they're a little spread out.
And the advantage of the undercut, will it be in favor of those drivers? We will find out. As they come to the line, 7 laps to go. McCullough, Ward, Dalton, Thompson have to pit. Jason, do they have to pit? They last pitted on lap 16.
Oh, yeah.
Could they possibly go to the finish? I don't think they can, though, right?
No, I doubt it. I mean, we've seen, obviously, Wesley, both me and you and Charles, we've seen now the last 3 weeks, these guys have made 2 pit stops in these races. Remember the first race, we knew they were going to have to pit, probably somewhere around halfway. Sure enough, they did, but they ended up pitting a second time. I expect these guys to be pitting either this time or next time by. Nobody elects to come this time. Maybe they can go the distance, but it's going to be a really tight window. 6 laps to go. The McCullough guys, they're up at the front right now, leading 1-2 here at Daytona with 6 to go back in the 1.
McCullough, Ward, top 3, single file. This time by, it'll be 5 laps to go. But they climb. Wheeling and dealing inside and outside for stretch. And look who's free falling. Here's another driver, by the way. There's Navarro. He's in the top 10, Jason. Outside the top 10, actually. When is he going to tuck tail and move up in line?
It's going to be hard to say here. I mean, if they're not going to pit, they have to start going. They have to start going. There's no doubt about it. You see Lane Dalton trying what he's been doing all race long, trying to get that top working. He's the only guy that's working, but you're seeing right there, this is the thing when it comes to super speedway racing. If there's one way you know that somebody's going to go with you, you know, without really getting out of line fully, is peeking out to the top side and trying to see if there will be another driver that will tuck out the same amount as you usually. You saw the 2 of Justin Mills do it. You also saw a couple other trucks do it. So maybe this 10 does have some teammates that he could work with that have clean ideas in this time. Coming to 4 to go this time by. Here we go. Oh, sideways. I don't know if there's going to be a wreck right there, but they're sliding coming into the pit. But it looks like it's going to be all good now.
4 laps, so the leaders come peeling off pit lane for the money stop. Tires, fuel only. It looks like it's just fuel only. The 0.5, McCullough's down. Joshua McCullough out. McCullough in out. So is Alejandro Montanesco. Joey Allen, Blaine Dalton. No tires, it's only fuel. Splash and go at the leader is now Josh Ford. Right here back off the corner, this time by 3 laps to go. Now they're peeling onto pit road.
Yeah, they got to have a clean stop. They're going to be 3-1. It's going to be kind of tight, but Aubrey Thompson, John Ward, the rest of these guys all get down into pit lane perfectly. But look at this top 5, Wesley. Notice something. It's all the guys who elected to pit last out of those green flag pit stops from the first cycle. Do they have enough to try and really make a run at this without pitting another time? We're about to find out, coming up to 2 laps to go.
Well, here comes that last pack of leaders coming on. An excellent pickup maker down the back anyway, going to turn number 3. Number 5 machine. Leader of this right down. Everhart the 3rd, and now Drew Navarro. Across the line, 2 laps to go. I think they're going to push finish, Jake. I don't think they're going to pit. They're going to give that to go.
Yeah, I think they're going to go the wave right here, honestly. I mean, what's the point of coming to the white flag and pitting? I mean, right now, I'm looking at their lap times. They're running 49.9s. They're saving 2 seconds a lap. George Bark, Damon Gilbert, they're running 47.9, so they're saving a couple seconds a lap. This very well could come down to somebody running out of fuel. And you know who really has probably the best opportunity with the fuel mileage here is probably Daniel Eberhard. He's not the one. Oh, gosh, on the racetrack. Oh, no. What happened? Oh, my goodness.
Dalton has crashed. The 25 has crashed. And this changes everything in this race. And we set up overtime now. What in the world just happened for the white flag? Now you've got an accident. I wonder if there might have just been a little too aggressive bump draft into the tri-oval. That's Joey Allen. Joey Allen into the fence with Blaine Dalton. Wow.
You know, you could make really two excuses for that. One, the driver up on the outside there, Joey Allen, he could have given room for the 10 to come up, but at the same time, he doesn't have to let that 10 car up the track. The 10 could have lifted a little bit. I know they were a little bit faster than the truck they were approaching, but when you think about it in retrospect, the 10 doesn't have to just blatantly move up like that. I'm going to have to give probably, you know, the doubt here probably to the 10 machine of Blaine Dalton. I mean, you could have slowed up a little bit. Sure. I mean, I know you're racing for the win, but I mean, at the same time, the 23 doesn't know you're coming up. The 23 has no idea you're going to come up. You know, you could make an argument for both sides.
These front runners, Jason, they got a pit. They got no choice, man. They had no choice. You literally sitting on the flat at the apron of the racetrack. They are giving up the lead and possibly the win to have to come down and do a splash and go.
Yeah, they had to right there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, that was heartbreaking for them. They were going to be able to all race for the win, and now they're going to be at the back of this field right here, restarting with 2 laps to go. I mean, they take fuel only. That's no surprise because they want to get back up to the pace car as quickly as possible. But they're going to have a really difficult time trying to navigate through this. I mean, the best scenario for them is they have another yellow, the field up in front of the wrecks, they make it through, or they simply just drive up to the front. But, I mean, you pick your poison of which way you would want it. Either way, it's going to be a really hard battle for them to get back to the sleeve.
Three laps, so obviously it'll be an overtime finish here. And I'm trying to remember, Charles, am I right? Don't they get 2 attempts at overtime? Is it? I know I want to say it's 2 overtime. Sure. I know we used to have the other series on Tuesday night. The SimRacerHub.com would do overtime. Now they don't even do that anymore, Jason. We saw the outcome of that finish last night. Trying to look on here and make sure I have the correct info. By the way, FEG PC Customs on social media. If you'd like to find the leagues and events that are in your choosing to run, FEG PC leagues and I'm just checking to make sure. Well, that really. Don't forget, by the way, coming up later tonight, they're going to be doing the Daytona. You know, they ran 3 races the other night as the lights are off on the pace car. 1 to go this time by this. We've had the race setting up for overtime. They had 3 races for Thanksgiving last Wednesday night, if you remember, Jason. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this finish is going to play out right here because, I mean, you look at this front right now, all these drivers up in this top 10 are all drivers who have not won yet this season out of these first 3 races. 4th race, obviously, here tonight. And, I mean, I said it. Look out for Dylan Jones and John Ward. Dylan's all the way back at 13. John Ward still has a damn chance here. Starting fourth, he's going to be really good here on this start. I think Aubrey Thompson's going to try to get hooked up with him the best they can. Remember, those two Chevys, they have been nonstop up each other the last 3 races. They like to work together. They're very good at working together. I expect those two to try to do something, but don't count out Damon Gilbert or George Bark. They've been working a lot together. I expect them to go, all hands out for this one right here. I mean, this is still anybody's race up inside this top 10, but if I had to pick a race winner right now, I really do think it's going to be John Ward.
Gonna be fun for sure. The lights are off of the pace car. Overtime is upon us. Joshua McCullough, Justin Mills, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Joey Allen. Even though he got crashed, he's still in the top 5. Or the top 10, actually. That was at the bottom is, of course, George Bark. Damon Gilbert, remember that strategy he tried to make? Going for the undercut. He's in second. George Bark. Pole machine to the lead. Green, white, check off and turn the high banks at Daytona.
Yeah, with 2 laps to go now, you see this field really scrambled up right now. Remember, the rule is here in this series is they are not allowed to go double wide on restarts in this race, except with 10 laps to go. The gloves are off. You're allowed to do whatever, but look at how calm and cool and collected this restart was. But with a lap and a half to go, George Bark, Damon Gilbert, they are nose to tail for the race lead right now. Now the question is going to be, Wesley, as they come off 4, who's going to pull out to the outside first? Coming off 4 to the white flag.
This is it. Working through the tri-oval. Storm stand, white flag in the air, 1 to go. Bark's at the lead, but will he be there at the end? There's a little push going on into 1. Oh, hold their line. Oh, they're wrecking. It's in the back. They stay green. They're wrecking in the back. It stays green. Big crash into turn 1 and 2. And they work the back stretch for the final time, Jason.
And John Ward has that push from Aubrey Thompson, just like we talked about. George Bark, though, has the push from Damon Gilbert for the final time, going through 3 and 4. This is going to come down all the way to the wire, nose to tail. The first 3 rows, Bark with the advantage, coming to the line. Oh, before he gets turned!
Bark in the wall. Ward got crashed. Damon, another in the lead is the Damon
Gilbert!
One. He went for the undercut. He went for strategy. They're still wrecking. Now the pull down lap. And Moses in the fin. Aubrey Thompson 1 spot shy. Damon Gilbert wins a strategy race here in Daytona. What a crazy finish. And this is why we love virtual or reality super speedway racing. Wow.
Man, Wesley, I hate to say it, man, but you gotta feel bad for George Bark right there. No doubt about it. You're so close. You're just a few hundred yards away from your first win of the season. And boy, oh boy, look at this top 10 we had here tonight. Absolutely insane.
Instead, it'll be a first win of the season for Damon Gilbert. Aubrey Thompson, we've mentioned it many times this year since we started the FEG PC program. He's always there at the end. Best finish of the season tonight in second. Dylan Jones, though he wrecked on the cooldown lap, he'll still finish third. Matthew Baker, fourth. Stephen Hendren in the top 5. Deberhart, the third. Justin Mills, Nash Brambilla, John Ward, and John Darnell III, your top 10 win race 3 at Daytona.
Yeah, rest of the field, Joseph Allen there, Montes Dioca there in the 69 machine, finishing P12. George Bark, like we just talked about, heartbreaker, probably the biggest heartbreaker of the race, to say the least, 13th tonight. Then you have McCullough. Andrew Navarro, first time he's been knocked out of podium all season long. Josh McCullough, Elliott, Barnes, Ford, McClendon there in the number 27 and 21st, 22nd, 23rd, Blaine Dalton, John Mollahan, and Sage Childress, 40 laps down. That's your finishing results tonight here from the virtual Daytona International Speedway.
One caution as the race summary pops up one more time. Presented by Virginia811.com. Remember, we're just after half double the lead changes. 6 lead changes. Caution 3 laps. And again, Damon Gilbert is the winner. We're going to go to post-race when we come back. We'll grab the podium. Gilbert, Thompson, Jones. Race 3 tonight here at Daytona. We'll prepare for Dega next week, man. You got to love it. The FEG PC Customs Wednesday night Super Speedway Big Money Series. And another winner of the season time. Gilbert, the man that went for the undercut at the right place, right time, and the crash. He wins. We'll grab him next. Welcome back to your home for Sim Racing, LSRTV. Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller, Charles Wooten in the booth, and we get ready to wrap things up here in round 3 of the FEG PC Money Wednesday series of the Super Speedway. Tonight, Daytona will grab the winner. Damon Gilbert, just a moment. Obviously, third place was Dylan Jones. I don't think he's available, so we'll go quickly into the runner-up of the race, and that is Aubrey Thompson. Aubrey, we say this every week, man. You're always in the hunt. You're always in the going. You're always there at the end. You just fell short. But best finish of the race so far this year. Second, you're taking tonight at Daytona, bud.
Yeah, my biggest thing was points. I'm worried about points more than anything right now. Was looking for a top 10 finish ticket. If it weren't for my teammates, I wouldn't have been there. Is all I got to say.
Yeah, and Aubrey, obviously, congratulations, dude, on coming home second tonight. Been talking about it, you know, like we were just saying there before we came back live on the air. You've been up there every single week, week in and week out. What more differently do you need to go happen in one of these chaotic super speedway races to finally get that first win of the season? Even though you are concerned about points, which is always understandable, but you've had a great season nevertheless.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know what else to do. My luck is probably the worst ever. All I can do is keep running up front and hope for the best.
I'll tell you what, Aubrey, What do you got to do differently? Well, what's it going to take to finally get that truck 38 to victory lane, man? What have you not done that we don't know yet?
I don't know. That's the problem. I haven't figured that out yet. I really don't know what to say. I don't know.
Well, buddy, keep your head up. Before we let you thank your sponsors, and we'll see you next Wednesday night.
Yeah, I just want to thank John Ward for all the help he does with our team, his team, Hyper Motorsports. Justin Mills, Richard Elliott, Danny Barnes, and Adam, they were all in the race tonight. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have finished where I finished. Hate Justin and John got knocked out like they did. Yeah. But we'll get them next time.
There you go. That's Aubrey Thompson. Best finish of the, of course, run so far. He'll finish in the second spot. Hey, Dylan Jones is here. Dylan, you finished third. You're taking this race, man. Obviously, it was a calm, cool, collective race strategy-wise. And then that late race caution for overtime. And then, of course, you put yourself in the right place. There you got putting the fence on the cool-down lap. Finishes in third. You're taking this show tonight in Daytona.
I don't know. It was pretty wild. Sat there saved fuel for 35 laps and thought we had the perfect strategy out, but obviously that didn't happen. And then the last lap's kind of a blur. We were just avoiding cars flying through the air and then just full throttle.
Well, Dylan, after all the chaos ensued right there, I'm sure you were happy to come home P3. But, man, what was your reaction? You were just a couple hundred yards from the start-finish line and see the spotter tell you, all right, man, the caution's out. What was your reaction coming off 4?
Pretty mad. I guess we should have pushed more. We were running far off pace. I didn't need to run off pace anymore. I could have made it from like 2 to go there. But I think Baker, that was leading it, needed to save more, and we were just kind of biding our time behind him. I think if we would have went full throttle, then we would have made it to the white sooner, and that might have not happened.
Dylan, everything changes when you go into overtime, doesn't it, bud?
Yeah, everyone loses their mind, including me.
Dylan, let's thank your sponsors. We'll see you next week.
Just thank Jeff for putting us all on, and you guys at LSRTV for, broadcasting the huge wreck.
The huge wreck, the huge race, whatever it is. Dylan Jones, he'll fit in the third spot. Let's go to victory lane, man. Congratulations, Damon Gilbert. He went for the undercut before the accident happened, and I said this might be a strategy for those 4 or 5 that peeled onto the pit lane. You moved up to 6th before the accident took place. Take us from the undercut pit stop, Damon, to then the accident to put yourself into contention now being another winner on this series. Congratulations to you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a good run. We decided to pit there because we were a little concerned about like green, white checkers because we knew that they were going to be close to making it on fuel. But we decided to take a gamble because we knew if yellow did come out that they weren't going to be able to continue. They would have to pit for some fuel. And luckily it fell in our favor. We restarted there first, second, and third. We tried some stuff. It did not end well. My buddy George there ended up flipping. And my other teammate there, Steven Hendren, got wrecked coming across the line. But overall, good race. Good points day for me to hopefully catch up a little bit after I sucked there for 2 weeks in a row.
And Damon, obviously, one of the things I noticed there on that restart was how strung out the field got. But then as you guys came to the white flag, everything kind of got more situated to a normal style, double wide, really inches apart from one another. Were you really surprised with how much of a jump you guys out front?
Yeah, going down the backstretch on that restart, I remember telling my buddies there, I was like, I think we got too much of a gap. They're gonna run us down way too quick, and it didn't end well for them. Luckily, I was second there pushing George. I was gonna push him right to the win, but looked like there was some net code between him and John Ward coming off 4 there. But I was ready to finish first 3 cars on the inside there for my team.
Damon, got to ask you this question, man. What's it mean to get a win? And obviously, got to be pretty exciting to join a great list of drivers that win on this Wednesday Night Super Speedway Series, and got to be a momentum boost for the rest of the year for a run to a championship.
Yeah, it feels good. I used to play iRacing like very seriously like years ago, and I really haven't played in, I'm gonna say, 4 years. I've now been playing for like 3 weeks again, so it feels good that I can still do it.
Well, congrats, man. Before we let you go, thank your sponsor, sir.
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates there, George Clark, Stephen Hendren. We did good there today. LSRTV for broadcasting, Jeffrey Ford for hosting the race.
There you go, and a big thanks to Jeffrey Ford as well for all that he does. FEGPCCustoms.com for more information. All right, Damon Gilbert, winner of round 3 tonight, Daytona, and we move into round 4, Talladega, next Wednesday night. Jason, always fun working with you, buddy. Your take of tonight's race, entertaining, calm, cool, collective until the late race caution, and then it's typical Daytona chaos at the end.
Yeah, I definitely think that the late race caution definitely could have been probably, really shouldn't have even happened. I mean, it's questionable. Obviously, drivers get mixed up doing one another things, but, it could have been prevented, but it's all right. It happens. But with that being said, though, we had a great race tonight. We had a lot of good pushing, a lot of good drivers out here, lead changes. Everything about it was really fun. I'm looking forward to Talladega next week, and obviously congratulations to Damon Gilbert on the win here tonight. Man, oh man, I don't know what I would have done if I were him coming to that white flag.
Yeah, it certainly was a fun one. Damon Gilbert gets it done. And again, we thank you all for joining us here tonight for iRacing on LSRTV, at LSRTV on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Of course, at iRacing as well on those social platforms. And, of course, check out FEG PC League and events on Discord and Facebook. From Rocket Racing Media, Charles Wooten, Jeff Stabnow, everybody in the booth, including Jason Rockefeller, this is Wesley Outland. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Congratulations to Damon Gilbert, winner tonight. We'll see you next week for round 4 at Talladega. Good evening.